Hi, welcome back to Guardian Angel Resin Creations. Today I am going to do a pyramid. Now I have got a little butterfly thing sitting here, and it's a little cardboard butterfly thing that just concertina's out, and it's from a card that my son gave me for Mother's Day this year, and it's been sitting on my dresser and like getting dusty, and I want to be able to preserve this because he wrote the most beautiful words on a little card that come with it. So what I want to do is I want to put this into the pyramid, and then I want to try and put some lights in, and then on the back of it I want to put his little card. So and I meant to seal that card, but I'm going to have a few days to seal that card and get it dried. So what I've done is I've taken the little butterflies, and I will show you the little butterflies. We'll just bring them up a little bit. So there we go. So, and I've sprayed them. I've sprayed them with a clear sealer. And then this was off the card as well. So this is what the butterfly was sitting on. So I'm going to glue him back in there. And what I want to do is I want to sit it into my pyramid, and then hopefully put the little, like, I'm going to attach him somehow, maybe to sticks or something to just keep this up. Like I'll start again. I'm going to reattach it to these little papers here. Then I'm going to attach it to something to sit in my pyramid. So hopefully that works. I have got a little bit of purple here. I'm going to put a purple drop into the water because it might help it stop from going yellow over time, maybe. Like, I know that the colors do disappear, but this is a resin dye, so we'll see how we go. So I have got my plastic thing here for my dome, and it's got like the little measurements on it, and you can't see them. So what I've done is got a little bit of permanent black texture. Oh, no, actually I haven't. I've got a bit of whiteboard marker, and just put it on there. I'm not going to stick my hand in there and wipe it off, so it'll be fine. So I've done that. What I'm doing now is I'm just going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to drop down off my stool. And now I've seen a lot of videos where they can't get this pyramid out. So I thought I would give it a bit of a try, because you know how you put mica powders on stuff and the resin comes out really easy. So I'm powdering it. So I've just got a little bit of talc, baby powder with cornstarch. So I'm just rubbing it on. Get it up on the tip. I've just got a nice big makeup brush that I've got. I bought a heap of makeup brushes recently from Temu, just so that I can do this, because every time I buy paintbrushes, the grandchildren steal them. So I'm down to one side, so I'm just putting powder on my board, and I will just wipe up the powder when I'm done, and then I'm just brushing it on. So there we go. So really get it in there. And then I will give the inside, when it's in the little container here, I will wipe it with alcohol just to make sure I have no powder in there. So that one feels really good. Excuse me if you can hear talking in the background. There are people in their backyard today over the back of our house. They were mowing their lawn, so I've had to wait about an hour to do this video. So there we go. That's got all the powder off my bench as well, and that's all in there. There we go. So I'm just going to brush that powder off. There's just like the tiniest bit in the corner of my bench left on there. And then we are going to get our little container here, and we're going to just pop it in there. So instead of sticking, if I'm lucky, this should just slide in and out like that. because I tried putting powder into this and it just dropped to the bottom. So we'll just see how we go. So there we go. I've had this for, since I started resining. I bought this and then I realized how much resin it takes, but I do have some deep pour resin that I really need to use up. It's been sitting in the back of my cupboard, and like it only lasts a certain amount of time, so I'm hoping that when I get it out it hasn't gone yellow, because I don't want to start with yellow, because then it's going to stay yellow. So if it has, I'll just throw it out, or I'll just use it for like putting mica powder in or something, because I want this absolutely crystal clear. So I do have my brand new so it's sort of a deep pour. It doesn't say deep pour, but it does take a couple of days to cure, so I'm going to try that. So I'm probably going to pour half and then pour, like I might do it in threes, but and I'm going to use the longer cure so that I'm not having to come out here every 2 hours and have the, you know, the lines up the side. I don't want that. I want this to be one thing. So because I had thought about putting the butterflies in there and pouring to the top of the butterflies and putting fans and things, but I'll just see how I go. So I'm going to make up probably a couple of 100 grams of resin. So I'm going to show you, because I still need to glue this in. So just make sure my hands are clean. And I've got this. So I'm going to sit it in there, and I'll make sure that my butterflies are right. And I want to get it as deep as I can, so it just sort of the butterflies go into the corners, and I can maneuver this if I need to maneuver it. So I just sort of want to sit it in there, so there's not going to be a lot of room left up the top, because I want to try and put lights in here. And I was going to try and put like the thicker fairy lights, but I think I've got some thin fairy lights that I can probably do that with. So I might not be able to. So if I just sit that there for the second, sit it in there, I might even be able to do that. Just gently sit it in there. So, and I was thinking about putting a bit of silver in the tip, but I don't think I'm going to. So then we have our little thing that the card was on. We've got our little piece that the card was on. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. And then I was thinking of just sitting it back on there, because I might be able to do that, and like if it floats, then I'll have to put something on it to weigh it down a smidge. But I just want to be able to sit that back on there. So, and if I can't sit that back on there, then I have, now I cannot tell you where this has come from. This was in some old material paints that my grandmother had, that I had in the top of my cupboard for years and years. She's been gone now for 18 years. And I recently pulled it out because I sort of looked in the cupboard and I went, oh, what's that? And it was all the old paint. So all the old paints have gone, and anything that I could save, I've saved. So this is a little bit of glitter. And it would have been put into, you know, like she would have done, she painted something. She was always painting butterflies on her clothes, and that would have been put on a bit of glue and sparkled something. So I want to try and use probably the leftover of this, because there's not a lot in there, because it's like a holographic. And I might also put a bit of silver flake in there. I'll see how I go with that. So I will see how I go with this, because I might have, if I'm lucky, about 1/2 centimetre maybe, when this is all set in and cured. So I'm going to get started with that. I'm going to make up some resin and just pop that out, and then I'm going to pop this back out, because I think the way it is at the moment is possibly the way I'm going to do it, because then I can just get a tiny little bit of super glue, because like it's all sealed. Get a little bit of super glue and just drop it on there and pop that on there. So all right, I'm going to find some resin. So I have worked out what I'm using. My deep pour has gone yellow. So this is a casting resin, which is, it can be poured as deep as deep pour. So it is, I think you can see it, Urban Crafter. Now in Australia I get this from Riot Craft, which I don't know even whether they exist anymore, Riot Craft. So so this can be poured. It's got a 50 to 60 minute work time. It is got a 50 millimeter thickness per pour, and it takes about 24 hours to cure. So I'm going to make up, I think I'm going to make up 200 mils. Now I did not measure this to see how much liquid goes in it, but it is 16 millimeters, 16 centimeters deep by, where's my ruler, and I will tell you how tall it is. Like, a lot of people have got these now that do them. I'm just going to grab my soft ruler and let me see, got something on it. Now it is what did I know, it's 16 centimeters deep, and that's what I was measuring, wasn't I? So it's 16 by 16. So if I was to get the calculator out, I'm not sure how I would calculate that, because it's not square. So now I should have measured, but too late. So what I'll do is I will make up 200 grams or thereabouts of resin. And just see. So I'll make this up and then I'll come back in a second. Alright, so I'm just mixing this up, and I nearly made a fatal mistake. This is a 2-to-1 resin. So I did 110 of A and 55 of B. Now I've done this to weight. So if I actually take out, if I was to take out my mixer, it's still 150 mil of resin. So that's what I want. Or about, was it 165? So so I'm going to mix this up. So nearly killed everything, didn't I? So I'll mix this up for 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to let it sit because it's cold. The resin's cold because it sits outside. I found some, what did I find? I found some Let's resin, and I will just grab and show you. So this has been sitting, sorry about that, a plane was going over as usual. If you haven't watched my videos before, I do live near the RAF base in South Australia. So they are continuously flying over, flying in dignitaries, and just generally practicing for just in case something happens. So and I'd say he's coming back. He might be doing, they learn how to do like touch and goes, so they touch down and then they lift up straight away. So I'd say you might be doing that. So now back to what I was doing. So this is my Let's resin that's been in my cabinet here for a while. Now I had forgotten that I had it. So have a look at that. It is solid as that. You squeeze the top bottle, you cannot physically squeeze that bottle. So I might have to sit that if I want to use it, and I probably will because I have had it for quite some time. I'd forgotten that I had it, so I think I got it on sale or something a while ago. So I will figure out what to do with that and use up the rest of that, because it would be, there'd be at least 200 odd mils in it, I'd say. So that's about 400 mils with the other bottle, because the other bottle hasn't gone like that. It always seems to be the A that crystallizes. So I'll put that inside for a little while in my laundry where it's a little bit warmer, where I have the dryer on, just to let that do its thing and warm up. So alright, I'm going to keep mixing this. I will let it, my cup is small enough to go into my bubble machine, so I'm using the Ostoyo little hand mixer. It does have a stand, but it's easy just to scrape down the sides with just doing this and scrape the bottom. So it's finished. I'm going to give it, because I wasn't really concentrating, this is a 4-minute timer. I'm going to give it a little bit more to make sure that it is all scraped down and the bottom is all scraped. So I'll give it a scrape, mix it, just mix it like that. So I like this machine, but it's so hard to clean. It's so hard. Like, you have to scrape the resin off it, then you have to wipe it all, clean it all down with alcohol, and if you don't do that, you've got to get a knife and scrape off the resin. So it's good because it's, it's handheld and everything, but I am trying, I have been watching the videos recently, and I'm going to keep stirring while I'm doing this. I've been watching all of the new videos with the Resiners curing machine that has just come out, and it was my birthday yesterday, and I couldn't work out what I wanted. So with all the stress that we're under with my sick mother-in-law, I just hadn't thought about it really. So I was watching these videos, and I thought I would really like that, because you've got to have sort of so many different things for so many different applications. So you've got, if you want to do your UV resin, you've got to have a UV light, or you got to sit it in the sun or something. And this one seems to do it all, and it looks like it is big enough, and I'm hoping that it is big enough to fit a 30 centimeter tray in there. So hopefully that will work, because I can also, if I want to, because I do resin outside, and I do have a really big cover that I put over everything. It would be nice to be able to just cover something up and walk away and come back in a couple of hours and it's all done. So, sorry, the plane was back. So I'm just spinning this, whoops, stop it. Yep, I was just spinning the resin on that, and I realized that I'm going out at lunchtime, and I have my good jeans on, so I'm just going to put my apron on, because I always forget. I resin in my good clothes, and then they're ruined, and then they're old clothes. So my husband does get annoyed when I ruin my brand new clothes. So I've got my apron on now. I'm just going to let this drip off for a second, and I will get out my little debubbling machine. I'll give it, like I'm just going to put the timer on. I'm going to go and make myself a fresh coffee. I'm going to let it sit until it's absolutely got not one bubble in it. So, like it does have nearly an hour working time. So I'm just going to leave that, and then I'm going to come back when it's time. So what I was getting at before, and I got totally sidetracked. I have ordered, when I ordered my Resina's curing machine, the new one, I have also seen like the hand crank mixers, and they fit onto any cup. So I've ordered one of those because it's silicone. You just sit it on the mat and then you pull the silicone off when it's finished, and job done. So I've ordered one of those, and like some cups and stuff. So because I'm in Australia, that's probably going to take maybe 2 to 3 weeks to get here. So I'm pretty excited to share with you when I get it, and I will have a play with it. So this is, you can see this debubbling itself. I'm not going to warm it in any way. I'm going to let it set by itself. I'm going to try and clean this little paddle here, and go make myself a cuppa. If I can turn you up. So it's taken a little while because I didn't warm my resin, which I should have, and I'm totally bubble free now. So I'm just going to just flame off whatever that is sitting in there. I'll just grab something, the hair or something sitting in there. Got it. So I'm just going to, with a torch, like there's not one bubble in there now, and it's nice and warm. So I'm just going to gently pour this down the edge. Now I put a drop of purple in there, so I'm just going to just slip it down the edge. Try not to get any bubbles at all in it because I cannot torch it. Just very gently do that. See how far he comes up. Now hopefully it does not flash cure, but it is cold outside, so I will come back out and check it. I'm about to go out for a little while, but I will definitely come back and check it. I don't think I've got any bubbles in it. Just give this a scrape. There's not that much in there to come out. Drop that in on the side because it is quite thin now because it is warmed properly. There we go. Not even sure whether to hit this with the heat gun. There we go. I think I've got some bubbles in there. Alright, I'm just going to hit it with the heat gun just to get these bubbles off the edge. Okay, now hopefully I didn't move him too much. It's hard to see, like he is sitting where I want him to sit, so I'm just going to just let it go. I don't think there's any bubbles around it there. A couple of bubbles in there, so I'm just going to give it another go. Alrighty, I'll come back in a few hours and see how it's going. Alrighty, so it is the next day. I come out last night at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and poured the next layer. So what I did is I did 150 grams in the first layer. Then I did 300 grams in the second layer, and the first layer I put 2 drops of purple, the third layer I put 3 drops, and I have just got my fourth layer here, sorry, my third layer, and I've put 4 drops in. Now I'm hoping that that is not too much, because I have got I doubled, I think, did I double? I did 300 and 150, so I've got 400, so I did 1.5. So like that, what I've got in there is equal to what is in there, and I will show you that it is still sticky. See how I get the stream? So I get the little line. I'm not sure whether you can see it or not, but I get the little line, and that's what I want. So, and that's what I did with the first lot. So I am going to just hit this with my little lighter here, and I have set it in the microwave for, because it's such a large one, I did it for 25 seconds because it will not fit in my debubbler, because mine's the flatter, wider one, because it's the Estoyo. I can't fit the bigger containers in there. So I am just going to pour this in. Now there is bubbles in there, and what I'm going to do is hit it with my heat gun as well, because I don't want to, because it's such a large container, I don't want to let it sit too long. So hopefully I can pour as well in this as I did in the paper cups. So I'm just pouring it down the edge, and hopefully I get it to where I want it to go. I just want it to come up above that paper. Hopefully we get up above the paper. Oh, come on, really? All right, I think I'll make up another 150 just to get above this paper, because then when it is tacky, I will come and put this silver on. Although not, now that I'm seeing it so dark, I don't know that you're going to be able to see the silver. That's a bit disappointing. Like, it's solid in there, definitely not going to move, because as I said, I did seal it with just a clear gloss. Clear acrylic gloss is what I sealed it with. And I stirred this for or actually about 8 minutes I stirred it for. I have a wobble machine inside, so I thought I would go and wobble and stir at the same time. Otherwise I go inside and then I get sidetracked, and then I go to bed and go, oh, I didn't use my wobble machine today. So, and I do have a wedding coming up soon, my niece's wedding, so you know, you go to a wedding, you always want to look good. So there we go. So yeah, I'll make up a little bit more. I don't know that I'm going to put colour in it. I might just try and swirl that colour that is in there. So, and it is hard to see whether, like, I've got the lighter down the bottom. I'm just off my step here, so I've got the lighter down the bottom, and then it does go darker. Like, you can still see my my beautiful little card in there. So there we go. So I'll do a little bit more, and like I said, I only need about 1 centimetre. Yeah, I'll do a little bit more, and then I'll come back when I go to put on the top piece. So I'll be back probably, hopefully this afternoon sometime, because I just need it set up enough, and I do have it on my warming thing, like, I will turn my warmer up because it is quite cold out here today, and it is raining, so I don't want any moisture So I will cover it with a big cover and just have the warmth going around it. I might put a fan under it just to keep it from overheating, and I'll come back when we go to put our silver on. Okay, so we've had a bit of a flash cure. So I can see down here that we have got a bubble. So hopefully it hasn't done any damage to the rest of it, because I did put, God, it's over 1 litre of resin in here. So I poured this earlier, and I wasn't going to, like, I covered it with the big cover, and because I was hoping, like, I didn't want to get a flash cure. And then I went out, tried to take my son somewhere, and I put a little cover over it, and it heated up because it was just a tiny cover that covered that. So we've flash cured. So I'm going to keep going. Like, I can see that there is a hole in there, and I've got bubbles, but hopefully this is going to cover them. But what I want to do, I have made up some resin. So I've just made up just some lax resin that I found. So I thought I may as well just use that instead of just letting it go to waste. And I have put my sparkles in. So I've used half of what I had there because I really don't want to use them all. Then I used my, if I can find it, I had some freebies from Harry and Wilma. So they were just like white holographic. And then I didn't put my silver flakes in because you're not going to see them. And then I put some unicorn crushed crystal in there. So, and I put a fair amount of the crushed crystal in there. But what I want to do is, I've got my UV. I'm going to grab my little torch here, and hopefully we have enough batteries. And I want to UV my light in here. So I'm going to sort of start with the center, and hopefully we're centered here. And I'm going to sort of twirl. So I'm just going to sort of go like that. And I'm going to sort of put it down, cure it, and then twirl a bit more. So I'm just going to pop that there like that and get that first light on. And then cure. Oops. Get it centered. Cure that up. Okay, there we go. So that's not going to move now. I'll cure that the best I can, and we'll do a little bit more. I won't subject you to doing the whole thing. So what I'll do then, like, I'll come back when it's time to pour that. Hopefully we should be right with that because it's quite cold outside. And I will keep going with this. Now I should have sort of really pre-spun it. So just going to spin it around just like that. Keep going. Try and get the lights sort of even. There we go. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to sort of put that light there. And then, ouch, that actually is really quite hot. And pop my UV resin down. Just hold it down just like that. Turn my light on. All I got to do is hold it in place for long enough for this resin to set. There we go. it's got that. There we go. See, it's on there quite good. So there we go. Let's do our next bit and spin it around. Hopefully I can get this done. I need to go and pick up my granddaughters today from school, and it's about an hour's drive, so I don't have too long to be fiddling with my lights today. So spin that around, just pop another bit of UV on it, just like that. So just pop that down. It's actually cooking my fingers at the minute, so oops, I just want that pressed down a little bit more. There we go. Owie, owie, owie. There we go. Yeah, just as I started to organise my pour, my son said that he had to go out, so I dropped him where he needed to go. So I think maybe if I'd been home, it would not have flash cured. So these wire ones always get tangled, the little knots in them. I took an hour yesterday to get the knots out of it, so I'm just going to spin that around. Oops, where am I going? Spinning that way. There we go. All right, I'm going to keep playing with this, and then I will pour my glitter on. So it looks pretty cool because it won't be like it won't be, what's it called, opaque, because you won't see the lights through it. So I'm hoping this is going to be pretty and not too purple. So we'll see though. So I'll come back when it's time to put my little thing on here. I'll come back. Alrighty, so I've just remembered why I hate working with Let's Resin, because of the work time. If you were not quick enough with this, it will flash cure. And I've been left with a gloopy mess because I've had to pull it all off, and hopefully it has not ruined this piece, because I've done another, this is 260 grams of resin, and that was just over 200 grams that I put in there. So, you know, I'm upwards of sort of 1.5 kilos of resin, and I'm not even finished it yet. So I'm just making sure this is stirred really well. I did stick it in my old microwave for 10 seconds just to warm it. So, and I even, because I had quite a big cup, I actually decanted. So I only had, like, you know, sort of, you know, 40 or 50 mils in each cup, and it still went solid and gloopy. So I'm not keen on the work time on it. So, but I'm using the rest of it so that I can just get rid of it, get those containers out of my way. So I will put a bit of alcohol in them, rinse them out, and then put them in my recycle. So I didn't use all of my glitter before, and I still didn't use it all. So I've got the tiniest little bit left, and I just found some flakes, some clear flakes to put in here to just give it that sparkle. So I am hoping that it's gloopy. I'm hoping it hasn't ruined my piece. So we're going to go ahead, because I've got all my lights and everything on. So go ahead, and I'm going to pour this on, and maybe find, I had some butterflies somewhere, but I don't know where they've gone. Maybe find a key ring or something. There we go, because I only need the tiniest amount to put my card in. on the underneath. Because even if I just do a flood coat on it and stick my card on it. And this is way too much because of that other bit. Oh, I stuck my cup in it. Not used to it being so tall. Hopefully that doesn't cause me an issue now. I will take some of this out. It's a bit too full. So I'm just sticking my paddle in there. Just pick it up. I will make sure this is level. Probably wasn't even level. Alright, I think I'm good. I've got a wipe here, so I'm just going to wipe that gloopy bit up. Hopefully it will come out of the container because I did powder. So hopefully it doesn't stick. So I'm just going to gently wipe that. I think that's a bit of the gloopy bit. God, I hope it doesn't ruin it. And as per usual, I've forgotten that I've been out and come home and got my good clothes on. You'd think I'd learn. But because I wanted to, like, I wasn't intending on doing anything with this, but because it is, it did flash cure, then I've had to come out and do a few repairs. So that's it's coming over a little bit, so I'm just going to leave that. I'll find something to put this into. I've got a little beehive, might do that, find some butterflies or something, get myself all cleaned up, go and pick up the kids, and I'll be back. Probably I won't show you putting this on because I will have to do the flood coat on the top, and I'm just going to sit that on the top there, and because I have sealed it. So I might I'll come back when this is a bit tacky, sit it on there, do a tiny little flood coat, and then I'll demold. Alrighty, so we're on about day 5 now. I come out the other day and I did the top coat on this, so I wanted to make sure everything was totally solid and cured and done. I'm hoping to be able to get this out of here because I did realise that the top coat did seep down into this. We'll see how we go. So, but I wanted to show you this. So, no air bubbles. How pretty is that? Look at that. Needs like a little knob on it so you can lift it up. But how beautiful. So that was that one. And then I had my little hearts, so they were the leftovers as well. So I'm just picking them up to show you. So there's my little hearts. I didn't pour them deep enough, so I will have a bit of cleanup. But look at that. And then my butterflies. This is gorgeous. So I'm going to make little key rings out of all of these. Look at that. How pretty are they? They are just stunning. Look at them in the light. They just shine and sparkle. They're just amazing. So then with my top coat, with my clear, because I had so much left over, I did green sparkly hearts. So look at those. And then I want to see how my butterflies turned out. So pop out my butterflies. So this is just a cheap mold from Temu. So there we go. Oh, get him out. And look at that. How pretty are they? Even the underneath is pretty. Because some of the sparkle floats, some of the sparkle drops. Aren't they gorgeous? So they've got sort of a blue green. I'm sorry, I keep moving my hand out the way. Like a blue green. How gorgeous is that? So that's all of them. So let's see how we go. So, and my light does work still. So I'm going to turn him over and I'm just going to pull these edges. So just pulling them, and I can see, oops, sorry, I might move you over a little bit more. There we go. And I'll get off my stand. So if I sort of pull it, I can see it gradually lifting. Let's get rid of that. So it's lifting out of there. And I'm just not sure how I'm going to get this out. I don't want to pull that because that will just ruin the light totally. Just not sure how to get my hand in there and do it. I'm going to push it to the side and see what that does, because I don't want to bend this as well. So I break it, I'll never be able to use it again. There's like a little bit of resin here. Okay. Nope. I'm just going to find something to just sort of like stick in here. Maybe a screwdriver and just move this out a smidge. That took a while. So I sort of pried it up with the screwdriver, and then I put a little bit of heat onto my container. So I'm not sure whether you can see it, but my container's not damaged other than where I put the screwdriver in. It's all lovely. So let's try and get him out, shall we? Now there's a lot of overpour here, so we have a whole other issue here of getting this off. Oh, there we go. So it will just rip off because it is quite fine. There we are. Get that off there. There we go. Have a lot of cleanup on this one. There we are. Joys of having the long nails. They actually help sometimes. And that bit off. That. Look at that. Yeah, stick them in there for the minute. There we go. There we are. Hopefully this has worked. So, as I said earlier, it was my birthday this week, and I got some money for my resiners machine, and I also got enough money to buy one of the brand new drills from Let's Resin. So it has cost an absolute fortune, so I really hope it works, because I'm getting it like sent to Australia. I have to pay an extra 50 cents, or actually 59 cents in the dollar for that machine. Oh, sorry, the wind's just come up. So yeah, I've had to pay an extra 59 cents per dollar for that machine. So it's cost me over $200 to buy it, and then $40 Australian to actually get it to Australia. So for that amount of money, I really hope it works. So let's go with this. Now this is way darker than I was hoping, but it will fade. So Let's pop this off and see how we went with it. Oh, that's pretty. That's actually really pretty. Now we do have this crack in it. So let's lift him up. Oh, that's really pretty. And like, other than, there's no line there, other than where it, oh look, other than where it flash cured, it looks pretty good. Like, look at that. Not a line there, but like the line there because we flash cured, but it's not a harsh line, and depending on the light you can't see it. And then we have our other, like our little glitter, and this will need a lot of cleanup. But I am going to leave the cleanup on this until I actually get my machine. Like, I can get my Dremel out if I want to and do that, but I want to test it on the brand new machine. So it's probably going to be about 3 weeks till I get it. But like, look at the levels of color. Like, I didn't want that. I wanted all the one color, but I didn't want to, like, I thought if I put more drops in, the more I put in, it would have been the same as that, but clearly not. But I like the level of color that I've got in it. Turn him around and see what we've got here. We have a butterfly that's just sticking out. Now, if I want to, I could probably do like a top coat, a flood coat on him, just to like, you won't be able to see that if I do that. You won't be able to see my bubble that I got in there because I can drill out that bubble. Sorry, my bench is a little bit dirty. So I can drill out that bubble. But wow, wow, wow. Let's turn on our light, shall we? So you can still see the colors in the butterflies inside, and that's what I wanted. So let's turn on our light. Look at that. That is so pretty. That is really pretty. Like, it's got a lip all the way around it, and I don't mind that. So I can actually just get it with my clippers, maybe. Like, I've done that there because of when I was trying to get it off, and I should have just heat gunned it. I didn't even think. So let's take him out in the sun. We'll go for a bit of a walk. So I'll pause you for 1 second. So we're out in the sun now, and oh my god, how pretty. How pretty is that? My arm's not quite long enough. Look at the top of that. And when you're out in the sun, like, can you see? It actually all looks the same color. Sorry, I'm not holding my phone very well. Look at that. So I'm going to spin you around a little bit. Like, you can't see the lights on at the moment because we are outside. So, but can you see the glitter? I'm not sure whether you can see the glitter in it or not, but I love how that turned out. So there we go. I'll walk back underneath my pergola now. Alrighty, so I've turned off some lights and things as well. Like, if you look at it with no lights on, those colors look the same. But if you look at it side on, the colors, you can see the colors changing. It's not like super defined, especially with this layer here, because I did pour it exactly the right time. But I went out with this and I put a little tiny cover over it, which covered the top of it, so it heated it up. So if I'd left my massive big cover over it, I might not have had an issue with it, but I'll know for next time. Like, this resin worked beautifully. And it was the Urban Crafter. So there we go. Like, look at that. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see it inside. So there we go. So thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate all of your lovely comments that you make every time I put a video up, and all of the helpful hints that everybody's giving me, even with like my old videos that people are just finding that are subscribing. Those hints are so helpful because like a lot of you know so much more than I do because I haven't been doing it very long. So any tiny little helpful hint, I promise you I will use. So thank you again. Thank you for so very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and see what I do. Let me know what you think I can be doing. You know, if you've seen my mold, ask me to use that mold. So because I do have hundreds of molds. So I'm going to TA, Timu's Anonymous. So thank you very much once again for watching. Hit that like button, let me know what you think, make all those wonderful comments. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate them, and be safe.